I was freaking pissed off. I was not prepared, y'all, to just make sure that it is amazing. And unfortunately, and I was just praying to God, like, God, please let us figure this out. Please let us get what we need to get together, honey, so we can make sure that this is an immaculate experience for all involved. Because your girl fucked up. She did something that she wasn't really proud of. The purpose of the event was to help my community really see the possibilities. It's always easier to kind of like be in denial and like justify our mistakes and justify things that we're not proud of to make us feel better. But are you really solving the problem? Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Banking on Cultura. I am your host, Victoria Jenn Rodriguez. And wow, I'm so happy to be back with you guys. I know for the last 2 weeks or so, I don't think I put out an episode because I was just so consumed with the Secure the Big Bag and Wellness Summit that just went down this past weekend in New York City. And it was absolutely incredible. But I was not prepared, y'all. I was not prepared for the huge undertaking of managing the summit, making sure our guests had an incredible experience, making sure our sponsors had an amazing experience, while also dropping episodes on the podcast. Banking on Cultura is now a year old, a year and a month or so. And so this was kind of like the first year that the summit was really all on me. And I didn't anticipate that it was going to be as much work as it was in terms of running the podcast and also making sure that the summit was amazing. But here we are. And I was so anxious that I wanted to like reconnect with you guys. Let me move this water bottle down. I was so anxious and wanted to reconnect with you guys that I was like, I don't care. I don't want to even wait to go into the studio. I'm going to come to you live from the casita, from the house, and touch base with you guys because I miss you. And I wanted to also, kind of give you a recap of what went down at the summit, major lessons learned, and also talk about, something that I have been thinking a lot about lately and wanted to share with you, especially as we prepare and gear up for a new year and we think about reinvention and we think about what's coming next and we think about who we want to be and who we have to become in order to get these things, and just really making sure that you guys are taking the time to give yourself grace and also reflect and learn about yourself. And this summit was an incredible opportunity to do that for me. And so I wanted to share it with you in hopes that it inspires you and motivates you to do your own self-reflection and really think about the business owner, the leader, the friend, the sister, the girlfriend, the boo, all the things, the type of person, human being that you would want to be. So let's start with the recap of the summit. So, day one was our kickoff reception at Brooklyn Chop House, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It was dope. The venue was a vibe. The music was a vibe. Everything was a vibe. And I think what was very different about this summit than in past years, so this was my 7th one, guys. And I believe the huge difference was, I don't know, something about this year, just the curation of people. Everyone just was so intentional. Everyone was just so welcoming and eager to help one another and see one another and listen to one another and just embrace one another. And I think at a time when we all are yearning for that. We're yearning for community. We're yearning to be seen. We're yearning to be heard. And something about this year just feels like that landed with a lot of people, including me. So our reception was lit. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. And if you haven't seen the recaps on my social media, Make sure you go and check it out at I am Victoria Jenn, because I've been promoting it, and you can, for those of you who missed it, you can feel like you were right there with us, and you can get a vibe for what I'm talking about. So day 2 was our full day program. We had about an 8-hour program. We started at 8:30 in the morning and ended at 5 p.m. It was a long day, and it was also just a beautiful day. And our guests did not know what was happening behind the scenes, but y'all, so much happened that morning um, of day 2 that only, people in the event planning space, people who have hosted events can really appreciate. But it was just chaos and madness, and so many things went left when we thought they were going to go right, but we figured it out. My team galvanized, we mobilized, also my speakers, like everybody just stepped up in such a way where I just felt so grateful and fortunate to have all these dope, amazing people in my life who sees an issue and is just like, V, what can I do? How can I help you? And it was literally like an all hands on deck to make sure that day 2 was an experience to remember. So much so that y'all, literally the morning of. So first of all, can we talk about so both days I got my makeup and hair done. Shout out to Chic Studio. They sponsored my hair and my makeup both on Friday and Saturday. And so Saturday morning, with the program starting so early in the morning at 8:30 in the morning, I had to go do my hair and makeup. So I had to be at the salon at 5 a.m. Okay. So I was at the salon 5 a.m. and I had to pressure her to make sure that I got out of there within 2 hours, because usually it takes her 3 hours to do my hair and makeup. And I said, I can't, I gotta be out. I gotta be out in 2 hours. So he managed to get me out within the 2 hours. So here I am, super excited. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get there early. I'm gonna make sure everything is good to go. Even though my event planner, shout out to Ashley, she's a G. She had it all handled. But I just am, when I host events, I'm very particular, and I love to host, and I need to make sure that things are set up correctly, that I feel the space, that I can pray over the space to just make sure that it is amazing. And unfortunately, your girl is driving to the venue. She's literally 15 minutes from the venue. Mind you, the venue's in New York. I live in New Jersey. So I'm 15 minutes from the venue. And what do I remember? I remember leaving my damn bra at home. I left my bra at home, y'all. I was freaking pissed off. I left my bra at home. So I had to call Ashley and be like, listen, I'm going to get there pretty much like as soon as the program starts. I have to go home because I left my bra. And there was no way that I was going to be able to wear my fit without a bra. It's not cute. It's not classy. I'm not about that life. And so I had to turn my ass around, go home to get my freaking bra that I left at home. I was pissed. And I had to do a lot of woosah. Shout out to my little sister, Reina, who I actually flew in from out of town to be our videographer. She did amazing. She's in the car with me, like just being silent, because I'm just like so annoyed. And I'm just like, I cannot believe that I left, of all things, I left my freaking bra. So finally I get to my house, I get the bra, we arrive to the venue, and there's just a lot of things happening behind the scenes that I was like, what the hell is going on? And I was just praying to God, like, God, please let us figure this out. Please let us get what we need to get together, honey, so we can make sure that this is an immaculate experience for all involved. And it ended up working out. God came through. He did his thing. It was an absolutely beautiful day. There were so many dope moments from that day that I'm really, really proud of. Like, all of our speakers were amazing. The wellness component, we've never really infused wellness into the summit in previous years, but this year we wanted to incorporate that element because we all just need to make sure that we're prioritizing our wellness and prioritizing our mental health and prioritizing ourselves, quite frankly, and making sure that we are taking the time to love on us and to give ourselves the energy and just all of the grace and all the things. We just deserve to put ourselves first and prioritize ourselves. And, you know, the wellness component, I think, really put that front and center. And then the business component was just like badass. I know so many women, the feedback that we've been getting in has been that they have, you know, have had these aha moments. They are more confident. They feel more bold. They feel more courageous. They feel more like confident. They have more clarity. And that was the purpose, right? The purpose of the event was to help my community really see the possibilities and expose them to the possibilities and really have them tap into a side of themselves that they didn't even know existed, and really bring out the badassery in them and really make them feel like whole, you know, make them feel like they have everything that they need within them in order to achieve anything that their heart desires. And now they have this community and they have me to make sure that they actually get this stuff, right? That they actually are able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they actually have a roadmap to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and one of the common things that came up a lot during the summit was fear, and how fear can be used as fuel or as an Achilles heel or as an indication to the fact that you're growing, right? When we fear, when we are in moments of self-doubt, when we are about to tap into the next best version of ourselves, when we're about to graduate to the next version of ourselves, when we're about to elevate, there's always going to be fear associated with that because it's unknown territory. And it also requires growth, which requires vulnerability, which requires you facing yourself, which requires you, you know, stepping up and really being a leader. And that's hard, you know, and that fear can prevent us from tapping into our potential, and it also limits us on our financial potential, on our happiness, and it limits us in so many ways where if we are not mindful of how we allow fear to drive our decision making or lack of any decision making, we will find ourselves kind of like in the hamster wheel going round and round and still in the same position this time next year. And so fear came up a lot. So if you're listening to me and fear is holding you back from doing something right now, I encourage you to like really get to the root cause of what is that fear? Like what's really driving the fear? Are you afraid that you're actually going to make it? Are you afraid that you're actually going to make your dreams come true? And if you are, you're not alone. Like I'm afraid of those things. I'm afraid that, you know, what if I do? What happens when I do make it? Like, am I actually going to be happy when I make it? Or am I going to have regrets? Or am I going to feel guilty? Right? Am I going to feel guilty for making it? So those, I think, are all normal responses and reactions to you being a human being. But we have to make sure that we are allowing ourselves to feel, but at the same time, not allowing our emotions to drive the decisions that we make in our lives, and not allowing our fear to be the core decision maker in the actions that we take or the actions that we do not take. And I want to expand on this a little bit because I learned so many valuable lessons at the summit this year.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Ooh, this is really good. You should know about this. So I don't know about you, but I've been known to procrastinate, especially when things scare the hell out of me. The fear alone would have me stuck, overwhelmed, confused, and all types of self-doubt. And don't even get me started on the imposter syndrome. Okay. After getting laid off, not once, but 3 times, honey, I realized that the security blanket that I made up in my head was just an excuse because I didn't really want to bet on myself. The corporate benefits that had me in that headlock, girl, they went out the window once my job decided that they no longer needed me.
Turns out that I'll save a whole nickel if I cut your salary completely.
The truth is, the only security blanket guarantee is the one that you create for yourself. In other words, until you start a business, you will always be at the mercy of a company's headcount, and you will never have complete control over your time, which means you'll be renting out your thought leadership and helping build someone else's dream instead of your own. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Don't you think it's time you stop playing small and tap all the way into your power, sis? Click on the link above or below this video to learn my 3-step process, the exact 3 steps that I took to make the transition from corporate to entrepreneurship. And this is helpful even if you don't know what type of business to start and have only one source of income. And this is absolutely free. It is my gift to you. I want you to win. It's winning season. In fact, what's that? It smells like winning season. Okay, so tap in and I'll see you inside the training. Let's go. I think God really purposely made me learn the lessons this year that I had to learn. And one of those lessons was, admitting to mistakes and admitting to what some might perceive as failure or shortcomings, and identifying ways for me to come back from that. And it made me really think about leadership and the type of leader that I want to be. And I want you to think about this. Think about leaders that you really admire. Think about leaders that you respect. Are they the leaders that have it all figured out? Are they the leaders that never make mistakes? Are they the leaders that never can admit to making a mistake? Are they the leaders that can never fall and get back up? Who are the people that you are admiring? Are they actually perfect? Or are they human? And as a result of them being human, you're still able to see their leadership in owning that human element of who they are. My health coach, shout out to Marquise, he and I have these really deep conversations often. And one of the conversations recently that we've had is around kind of like this Western way, he was calling it the American way of living, of how we always have to have this armor up, and we always have to show that we have it all together, and we always have to show like almost like we're perfect, like we present ourselves in this perfect way, and we talk like we're perfect, and if somebody does something that upsets us, it's like F them, they're lost, it's about me. And he really challenged me to really think about like is that who you really want to be in this season of your life? And I had to really think about that, sit with it and self-reflect on it, and think about, okay, well, if I want to be a different type of leader, if I want to be a less transactional leader, if I want to be a leader that people can trust and that people are motivated and inspired by for all the reasons that matter, not because I dress nice, not because of my car, not because of my accolades, not because of my home, not because of anything materialistic, but because of my character, because of my leadership style, because of my integrity, right? How do I want to be respected, right? And what do I want to be respected for? And that was something that I've had to reflect a lot on over the last couple of days, because your girl fucked up. She did something that she wasn't really proud of. I'm not going to go into detail here. Maybe one day I will share it here on the podcast, but something happened that I really wasn't proud of. And I had to really think about okay, V, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to make things right? Or do you want to be, do it the American way and be like, fuck it. It is what it is. I'm going to keep it moving. I got to let it go. I can't let those things impact me. And something that my health coach helped me see, Marquise, and I said this at the summit, everybody needs a Marquise. He is just a ray of sunshine and just someone I'm so thankful for. I got to bring him on the pod. Let me know in the comments if I should bring him on the pod. This is the guy who has helped me lose 30 pounds. He is the guy he's like my soul. I don't know what is the best title I can say this. He's like my soul adjuster, maybe, because he helps me see the things that I already see but that I don't want to either admit to or I don't want to face because it's easier to protect myself and it's easier to defend myself than to actually like go through the yucky feelings of, damn, I really did some shit I'm not proud of. Now I gotta go, now I gotta figure out how to make it right. It's always easier to kind of like be in denial and like justify our mistakes and justify things that we're not proud of to make us feel better. But are you really solving the problem? And are you really getting to the root of it, or are you finding ways for you to put a pacifier on it, right? For some people it's drinking, for some people it's partying, for some people it's just being in denial and not taking accountability, right? And he really challenged me to think about these things. And so yeah, your girl has been in deep self-reflection over the last several days. And I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself for doing the self-reflection, and B, making the executive decision to say, no, that's not who I am. That's not who I want to stand up for. That wasn't okay. I need to go and fix this. And then taking the appropriate action to go and fix this, which brings me back to the point of failure and failing in public. So many women don't start a business because they're afraid. So many women don't start a business or don't excel in business or don't excel in business because they fear failing in public. And so they just don't get up to bat at all. They're like, I'd rather chill in the dugout. It's safe over here. It's comfortable over here. I don't have to, face my demons over here. I don't have to do the hard stuff that comes with leadership, right? So I'd rather just play I'd rather just be in the back end. I want to be in the back, right? I don't want to be in the front. And you have to decide how important it is for you to actually tap into your dreams and really tap into your fullest potential, because for you to tap into your fullest potential, you're going to have to make mistakes. You're going to have to fail, and it's going to happen often. And you want it to happen often because that is when you grow, right? From this past experience, I literally have felt like I've grown so much over the last several days since the summit that I'm just like, wow, how incredible, how freeing it was to make a mistake, learn from the mistake, and improve from the mistake. It was so freeing. And just so, as I said, I was just so proud of myself. And so as we're going into the new year, I want to challenge you guys to think about, mistakes that you've made this year that you have decided to ignore, or that you've decided to sweep under the rug, and you're just like, you know what? Get somebody else to do it. I'd rather not. I already accepted it is for what it is. Like, I challenge you to like revisit and unpack it a little bit and think about like, why does it still bother you? Is it still lingering? Like, what is happening? And it's so crazy, y'all, because God works in just mysterious ways. And also just like when you're soul led, meaning your soul is leading you in many environments, and your heart is working for you and the world, and you're just in this constant flow of evolution, of advancement, of self, of growth, of exploring, of all the things. Like, you can't hold on to things. Like, you can't hold on to things because you can't sleep. Like, it's not going to settle well. And again, you might be able to pacify it with something, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be there. It's still going to linger. It's still going to come up for you at some point. And it kept coming up for me. And I was like, the American side of me and the old V was like, fuck that. I don't care. This is what it's going to be. It is what it is. But the new V, the new version of V that has done so much work on herself as a leader, as a friend, as a partner, as of all the things, as a woman, this new V wasn't having it. She wasn't letting me be content with my old ways. She wasn't letting me let go. She was like, no, I'm not letting this go until you rectify this. I'm not letting you move on until you fix this. And it was like once I surrendered and once I allowed myself to accept, like, oh shit, like I have to switch things up. This is not going to work. This is not going to settle well in my soul. I felt so free and I felt like this weight was lifted off my shoulders and I felt so good about myself. And now I don't have to think about bringing that into 2025 with me. So again, I challenge you to think about, what are the things you've done this year that you regret? What are the things you've done this year that you failed at? What are the things that you've done this year that you wish you didn't do and you wish you did it differently? There's still time for you to do it differently so that you don't bring that energy and that aura into 2025, right? You don't have to bring it with you. You can leave it here. You can leave it here. You can rectify it. You can address it. You can face it head on so that you're able to heal from it, so that you can go into 2025 like I'm a new, right? A new, clear, evolved, better version of you. And one of the beautiful things about leadership is, and I think entrepreneurship, y'all, entrepreneurship will have you grow in ways you never thought possible. Okay. Entrepreneurship will have you grow in ways you never thought possible. That's personally and professionally. And as a leader, you want to never stop growing, because once you stop growing, you will stop being able to provide value to your team, to the people you care about, to the people you love, to your community. You have to always want to aspire for growth. And unfortunately, much of our growth comes from the less, like, unfortunately and fortunately, most of the growth comes from the hard stuff, comes from the ugly stuff, comes from the stuff you're not proud of, comes from the stuff that you wish you would have done differently, comes from the stuff that you're disappointed in. That is where the biggest growth is. And you are strong enough to face that head on. I want you to know that you are strong enough to face that head on. You can do it. You can do it. So if something is on your heart that you haven't let go of this year, do what you need to do over the next month and a half. Do what you need to do so that you're able to let it go and heal. It's not even for the other person. It's not for the other person. You're not doing the other person a favor. It's for you. It's for you to grow. It's for you to heal. It's for you to elevate. It's for you to tap into your inner voice, your inner essence. For you to be more in tune with you, you have to set yourself free. And if that means you have to be vulnerable, you have to admit to your wrongs, you have to be human, right? And lead with humility, then that is what it's going to have to take. But I promise you, once you're on that other side, you're going to feel so good about yourself. You're going to be so proud of yourself, and you're just going to feel so light and amazing. And you're going to be so happy that you did it. And I want that for you. I want that for you, because it is going to make you a better businesswoman. It is going to make you a better partner. It is going to just make you better in all facets of your life. And you deserve to be free in that way. You deserve to be free of the regrets. You deserve to be free of the negativity. You deserve to be free of the heavy weight that you might be carrying. You deserve to be free. So give yourself the permission to do the ugly work. Give yourself the permission to do the stuff that the majority of people would not do, because guess what? It's easier to live in denial. It's easier to deflect. It's easier to point the finger at everybody else but yourself, right? It's easier to justify our actions It's easier for us to justify our actions when we are judging, right? When we're judging, when we're making assumptions, and when we are, trying to categorize people that don't even deserve the classification. That's what I'm saying. That don't even deserve that classification. They don't even deserve that designation. They don't deserve to be in that category, but you are putting them there because you're trying to justify how you feel about something because they triggered something in you. And so you're trying to justify that to make yourself feel better. But guess what? It's going to come up for you anyway. You're not going to get rid of it. You're going to have to release it. And I promise you, once you release it, you will feel so free and so much better and just love. You will feel love and you'll love yourself more as a result of you stepping up and facing yourself. Anywho, this was a deep episode, huh? We got into the nitty-gritty, but I wanted to share what I've experienced over the last couple of days. Like I was eager to share with my community. I was like, oh my God, I got to share this. I got to bring it to Banking on Cultura because I know I'm not alone in this. I know I'm not alone. And I know somebody needs to hear this because I needed to hear it. Thank God Marquise was in my corner and he was able to help me get to this point. And so let me be your Marquise. Let me be that voice and that reason with love of what you need to make sure you do before entering into this new year so that you can feel better, so that you can feel happy and at peace. All right, mi gente. By the way, I did start a wait list for the summit. So I'll put that in the show notes. So if you missed the summit this year, don't worry, we're bringing it back next year. So make sure to sign up to our wait list so you can be the first to know and get all the updates of what's coming. We are actively planning right now for 2025. So you want to make sure you're on that wait list. We'll put it down in the show notes. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening, guys, and for tuning in. If this episode was helpful, you know the deal. Please leave us a review over on Apple, rank us, all the things. Share this with a friend if you know someone who needs to hear this message, and know that I love you so much. I am so grateful for you being in this community. I am so thankful to you for being on this journey with me and giving me grace as I grow as a leader. And I hope learn from my lessons so that you don't make the same mistakes I made, or so that you know how to handle yourself in certain situations. That's why I share, and that's why I try to be really authentic here on Banking on Cultura, because I'm not perfect and I don't want you to think that I am. And I want you to know that you're not alone and we're more alike than we are different. Trust and believe that. And I want you to know that you're deserving. You're deserving of being happy. You're deserving of being rich. You're deserving of being rich, both in money and in love. And you're just deserving of all the things, of everything your heart desires. I just want you to make sure that you are there to meet the moment so that you can fully take in your wins and your accomplishments and your accolades and your greatness and all the things, because you are constantly operating in this state of gratitude, abundance, but self-awareness. So that if you fuck up, you can admit that and be okay with admitting it and take accountability and doing what you need to do to make it right. Doing what you need to do to make it right. So as we go into Thanksgiving holiday, if you celebrate, I hope you have an amazing time con la familia, and you get to relax, and hopefully you take this with you and you self-reflect and you just remind yourself of all the things that you are thankful for and why you are blessed. And I am sending you tons of love y amor y besitos. Mwah. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you on the next episode. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love the next one. So make sure to click right here and tap into the next episode.